Hey, welcome back to FlatWorld. It's maybe a longish one because I got a lot to do. I don't know if it'll fit in half an hour. Incidentally, I did that. I didn't see any. One of the sheep died. Didn't need to film it, but there's just a service lift. It's a 2x2 water, same as the water lift over. Hi, cat. Over there, but different shape. Just put down glass, fill it up with water. It's easy enough. Probably gonna want this for something. Thinking about it, I've got some beds made up here, so I'll grab those. And let's go to a village, which it's gonna be large. I mean, literally large project. It's huge, but I think we can probably get it done. I don't know. Might be. It might be more than half an hour, but we'll see what we get. Thanks. And there's that. Okay. So we have this built out, the water lift here from last time, which is fundamentally the same as the service lift, but where this one was 1x3 to build, the other was actually kind of easier. It was just 2x2. You put down water in the corners and keep building up. First thing I want is this, just to. I had to restart my computer. The problem I had the other day with my mouse apparently was more that something was just jammed up in the whole USB element, so I had to restart it and explain to it that the mouse is real. So the village sort of starts here. Historically, it did. I mean, this was here, a torch. Here was a door, because we needed doors for villages. Here was a door. Here was a door. And right here is, I'll put it down for now as a door. Or not a door, but a wall. The other thing. That's really all I need the dirt for right now. I'll get back to it. Get all the glass I can get. You know what, just do this. That'll be the smart thing. And, so technically, without the doors being part of the village anymore, this is actually a bit smaller than I'm used to building. Instead of 40 by 40, it's 36 squared. And what happens is that's not in fact dirt. I was lying. Don't care. Bye. This is still the wall, but it's now the corner. It's the outside of the village. Everything outside of this I'm going to have to get rid of at some point. I'll probably put in glass so I can walk back and forth. But I don't want a spawnable surface within like 16 meters of the village that's not planned, basically. So starting instead from that being 160, I'm starting at 158. One of them's negative, but so what? And just pull back. Basically 36 instead of 40, which means landing on 122 as we get back here. And arguably this doesn't have to be glass with this specific line that I'm on, because above it is going to be like podiums and mulchers and grindstones and whatever turns homeless villager, unemployed villagers into having jobs and stuff. Turn here 157, so go back to 122 on this side, which is like why I wanted why I want a specific spot. This way I don't have to. I know it's just 158 through 122. Dead middle is 140. It just makes it easier to glance at it and see where I am. It theoretically could be anywhere as long as it's this shape, at least the way I'm doing it. 122. And I'm trying to be a little careful because I don't have Silk Touch yet. That's kind of part of the reason I want a village, is so I can build up find a guy who has Silk Touch for me, or a book for me, or something. But I do have a lot of glass. I have more glass than I need, so should be okay. Pull back to 158. Numbers are a little uglier. I mean, when it was 160 or whatever, when it was 40 things wide, it was a hell of a lot easier just to plot exactly where things go. But this is measurable. It's fine. 158, and then pull back here just to 158 on this axis. Presumably X, I think it is. It's the first one, so whatever that tells you. And this will be the entire perimeter of the thing, which is also, yeah, the external wall. The first thing I'm going to do with, well, no, I'll get to it. I'm going to put dirt down on this as a placeholder, and then put glass on top of that, and then punch. You'll see. So the next thing is I want to go out 2 meters. That being a wall. That specifically being, I don't know, call it a podium. The next bit is these 2 are going to have beds on them, the head up against the podium, against the wall, whatever. And that'll be where some of the villagers sleep. And the beds, of course, allow them to reproduce in the first place. So, I assume I have enough glass to do what I guess we'll find out. 2 again. I guess I could just, you know, plot my way through this. It wouldn't be... ignoring the walls, and there's 2 walls. The middle between the walls is... oh, damn it. See, that's what I don't want. Is 7 meters wide. So wall, bed is 2. Then there's this common area that historically was farmland. I don't actually need this on anymore, it's just bugging me. Now there's a plane, that'll help me, thanks. Why is there a plane? Anyway. The farm thing doesn't really... oh, I'm out of glass, what do you know? Alright, fine. Doesn't really work anymore. Starting in like 1.13, I really started seeing it. Because I've been doing the farm thing since 1.6, 1.7, somewhere back there. It was back when the villagers still, if they said they wanted coal, you could trick them by giving them something else. Charcoal. I need one of these at least. Oh, give me more glass apparently. This might be all the glass I need. I don't know, we'll find out. In 1.13, I really noticed them doing a lot of jumping, and they would jump and mash the farmland back into dirt, which is annoying. But that was then. Then being when doors prescribed the shape of a village. Now that it's beds, it's a little more, it's messier. It used to be with the doors and whatever, the center of the village was just the center of the village, and it was immutable, because you had the doors in place. You'd think that would be true with beds, but apparently the village kind of sort of centers on the first bed you put down, which is a factor, something I'm going to have to account for, maybe. It also centers on a bell, but I'm not going to put bell in here, so it's not going to make any difference. So when the villagers jump on crops in a village like this, they turn the crops back into dirt. So if this were dirt, these 3, and they jump on one, an iron guy can spawn on it. So instead, I'm just trying to use glass, even though I keep misplacing it and having to break it because I don't have soft touch. So these 3 are no longer farmland. When they were, that over here wasn't even here, in fact. There was a block underneath and then water was there to hydrate the farmland. But, you know, it doesn't matter now. We're not doing that. Just using glass, which prevents spawning. Of any kind, incidentally, so monsters won't be in here either, which is good. So yeah, get these 3 won't have beds, they won't have farmland, they'll just exist. Could probably stand to have something back real quick. I'm going to know when I get to 140. So I have something of a plan. 141. So this is in fact the middle. And what I kind of want to do real quick is just put this down where it's going to go. If this is the first bed and we sleep, it doesn't matter if I sleep, it's not part of this, but if it's the oldest bed, I want to say that as a result, that'll be technically the center of the village, which is going to be close to the center anyway. So if there has to be a center based on beds, that's probably the best place to have that happen. Because beyond that wall that isn't there yet, there won't be anything. Everything up here is going to be just air. The far side over there where I came in is likely to have some elements that might be spawnable. I'm going to make every effort to not have anything spawnable within 16 meters of the village at all, but even so, you can't always be sure. It seems like recently, early in 1.14, I was having things spawn on like anvils and crafting tables, and I don't know how that makes sense, but it seemed to be what was happening. Scaffolding, I don't know. So I want to make everything as spawn-proofed as I can, and that starts with putting a bed in a specific place, I suppose. Alright, so we get the common area, which is what I'm calling it now because it's not farmland. Which means we have wall, bed is 2, 1, 2, 3, or up to 5 on the inside of the wall. After this will be 2 more for beds again, and then a wall. Which, I guess with that bed in place, you can see what I'm talking about. So, just get this done. And then when I get to the last 5 here, well, the last 15, last 9, last 6, last 3. I don't know if that's enough glass. Probably it is, but I'll grab more just because I can. I'm right here. It's a lot easier than running out in a bad place and having to worry about it. So I got the ladders on me. It's alright. This should be... I'm sure this is enough glass. I only need, 3 more, technically. In fact, okay, so bed, because wall, bed, common, bed. In fact, I'm going to go in 1 more, although I'm not sure it's important. This will be the inner wall. And that'll be more important here when I get done with this. I'm not sure if the base of the walls have to be glass. Because there will be glass on top of the walls, so arguably they could be anything. Although if they're dirt or something, or if they're dirt, I suppose an Enderman could bother them, and if they're wood, I guess lightning is always possible. Glass is good. As long as I don't have to break it without soft touch, it's fine. It's not terribly breakable otherwise. So wall. We're online so far to get this done. And then 1, 2, 3. Then I'll want to, well, there's a couple of things I need to do, and there's no really great order for it, so either way I'm going to need dirt next, and probably stone, because the middle is going to be not glass. It's going to be, in this case, it's going to be stone bricks, because I like using stone bricks, and it's a, hang on, I just got lost. Oh, what the hell is this? No, that goes there. So wall, bed, common, yeah. I still have to do this one. Glass is really hard to see what you're doing. I mean, it's damn near invisible. It's just awkward. It's good. I like it. But it's when you're just in a hurry smacking stuff down, it gets a little confusing. Okay, so that is just about all the glass. There's need about 4 or 5 more stacks technically, but I'll get to that. For now, let me drop this stuff off, because I don't need this much glass on me if that's not what I'm working with. And, can I do that? Okay. Give me one of these is all I really need right now. And just as much of this as I can have. Okay. I don't know if I need this much, but it's what I have. Oh, I need a bucket, by the way. So next, I need to go in here, but I need to go down one. Because, well, I don't know if I need to, but if I don't, then the, I'm just gonna wash out whatever's down there, apparently. I can just go randomly there. Don't need the water again right this minute. I do need that to be right there. And I guess once I get back down here, I'm just going to lose that because I don't want it there. Yeah, if the if the spawning surface is down one, there's going to be water against up one. And I'm not absolutely certain whether any vocational things like podiums and mulchers, if water can flow through them. I wouldn't be shocked if they can, so I'm going to assume that they might and therefore not allow it. It used to be I had this down one largely to hydrate the crops we don't have. But that's no longer a factor, so now I'm just used to it. You can also arguably have this here and then go up about 3 meters and have a whole nother one. I've heard the argument that if you do it that way you get twice as much iron. I haven't seen evidence of it. The way things work these days, I think they just produce iron guys whenever they feel like it. And it doesn't really matter. The number of spawning surfaces for the iron guys is irrelevant. Maybe I'm wrong, but that seems to be the case in my experience. And I'm willing to assume it's the case because it saves me a lot on building lots of spawning platforms. Just why expend the effort to get what might be 5 or 10% more iron? I'm going to have more than enough. Like, in my main map, I've got, I'm not even sure where I am on it at this point, but I gotta say it's like 6 or 7 double crates of iron. So 3,456 ingots in a double crate, and then those are connected by hoppers, so there's another 320. I have thousands of, and then I've got a whole double box of just cubes of iron. You know, the ingots 9 at a time become a cube. I've got iron that if I started now, it would take me a year to throw away, you know. So, I'm not too concerned about coming up short on iron. At least not desperately. I know people who do this sort of thing, and I've been hearing that in 1.14.4, a lot of people have had their iron farms just break overnight. We've only had 1.14.4 for like 2 or 3 days at this point. I don't know if that has anything to do with me, because I don't know what they're doing. People just say, hey, my thing broke. So, well, how does your thing work? I don't know, but it broke. Okay, well, I can't tell you why it broke then, because I don't know what I'm not sure what method is involved in getting it to not... When it did work, I don't know why it worked. I don't know what you have, so... It might not... I guess we'll find out, but so far as I can guess, there's no reason my thing here shouldn't keep working. I can't think of a reason why it would break. I can't predict a reason. That said, I haven't really... I heard that after the last time I looked at my main map where I've got all this iron, because I've got an iron factory and lots of villagers. For all I know, it's not working because it's not running. This is running instead. But if I loaded it up, I don't know if it would just not be working. I guess it's possible. If so, I'll find out. We'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. I mean, it kind of is, but I don't anticipate a lot of problems. Okay, so now this is off by 1. Well, whatever. I don't think it is. I think it's still fine if... So I'm right on the... Okay. That's the center. Which I'll torch up for now. There's no reason to, but I did. That done. Let me... You know what? I'll use dirt because I think going to be easier in the end. I should have space for it. I just need 16 of them, really. I need placeholders. I'm not even sure I strictly need them. If I was precise enough, I might get away with not using them. But actually, I think I should be done with these. So give me some dirt here. Oh. No, I need more dirt. Okay, give me dirt. I just realized I'm going to need dirt. And I'm going to need some glass. I don't know how. I'll just go with whatever I can carry. Go over to my bed here, or someone's bed. It's in place, so I can use it. Where am I on time? Like 20-ish? Yep, just about exactly. We seriously might get this done in half an hour. How weird would that be? Because seriously, it's a big project. The difference, I guess, is at this point, this actually uses less weird materials. Like, it's really the same number of blocks, more or less, but you don't have to worry about slabs or gates or whatever you have to build along the way, because there's no holding them all at once. I think everything's working so far. Let me set these down. And again, these are just placeholders, so I'm going to just punch them out, but I don't care about getting them back. I barely care at this point about getting back like glass or stone bricks, but I guess one advantage is if you use a block like this, you know what you're looking at as you're doing it. Let me have some, actually let me have 2 waters. And this just goes here. That goes there. And then they go back, and I'm just going to put one away because it's in the way. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Fill these out so it's all infinitized. And what should happen with that torch in the middle behind me, if I got this number right, if not, I'm probably going to scrub this and start I can roll it back, but I think we're good. It doesn't look like it came out wrong so far. I haven't really been counting, but I think that was the right number of splashes to get the water in, so. I would love some walk-in water shoes. I don't really have anything like that yet. This works. It's just annoying. And then, last one. And what should happen behind me is that torch should be dry and surrounded by 8 other dry blocks. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to see. Good. Next, we get up here, and again, in terms of place holding, I'm just going to go up one with dirt. These will ultimately be replaced with like podiums and mulchers and grindstones and barrels and whatever makes villagers have jobs. And that's why I'm using dirt. I don't care about it. So that will for now, it's just a place I can put glass on top of this and leave it there. Just that way nothing spawns. When I'm ready for podiums and whatever, I can just punch out the dirt, put down the pod. I don't care if I get the dirt back. It's meaningless. I look down there, it's just all dirt. There's like terameters of dirt. Or so. I don't really know the numbers. I do know that in theory, this planet I'm on is the size of Neptune. It's significantly massive. It's way, way, way bigger than Earth. Like diameter alone, I think it's 7 times the size of Earth. That's done-ish. I'll get back to it later. Let me have this. Water that, I don't know why I thought that made sense. Grab water back. Lose the dirt, which I guess if I were extraordinarily clever, I could just use a shovel. Well, if I got the shovel button right. And this just, it's not a huge concern, but arguably an iron guy could spawn in the corner and not actually be influenced by rushing water, so this gives me rushing water, and then we have that. Flowing water, whatever it is. This goes right here. I get water from somewhere. I don't need to worry about that again today. And that goes there. Give me the dirt back as a thing I have, but first let's put up. Do I still have, okay, Let me put the, I don't know why the hell I... Well, I know I very much had a reason to grab ladders. I was just... I really only need like four... Well, I only need two. But I was gonna... Why is there a dog barking at the plane that already left? Ladder gets me in and out. It might get the villagers in and out, so I'm a little concerned long term about it. I might have to come up with a better system for getting in and out of the village. But I'm not sure what they can climb. Sometimes they do. I've seen them climb scaffolding and all manner of things. Shut up. No one likes you. That's why you have to live outside. You don't get to live in here. You're not even my dog. Why do I have 13? I hope I have another one after this. Oh, I think so, yeah. I think I had a few. Yeah, good. So that's the inside. I don't care about the dirt, so the hell with it. That'll eventually be whatever beds will go up against it. We can talk about that in a minute. This is the same thing again. Oh, that was stupid. Which I guess while I'm thinking about it, I'll just go ahead and make sure I can get in and out. Just use dirt in place of whatever interactive blocks. Of which I have a few, and I can just wander around and get more. A lot of them I can just make. The problem, of course, is some of the really good ones rely on iron to make. So, somehow I've got to get iron happening in this thing, because villagers live in it, before I can really make the things that turn the villagers into villagers that eventually buy iron. It all makes a sort of sense, it's just there's a lot of back and forth on waiting. It's a sort of a pendulous process of figuring. Okay. Figuring out a means for, you know, getting this stuff to pay off. Something of an investment. Its infrastructure is what it is. I don't know where I am on time. I've got 3 minutes almost, so this might just work. Unless I run out of dirt. I mean, in a way, it's more or less done now. I put the wall in place, and it's really, really done right now. So, bit of dirt, bit of dirt, bit of dirt. Last bits of dirt. Glass, basically just do that. And this, I'm going to have to be a little careful because, again, no silk touch. But anything glass that I don't misplace, you know, if I put it down and like it stays here forever. So, really, the dirt's the only thing that is temporary. Oh, with one exception, I suppose. Technically, in the very middle, those 9 stone bricks are going to eventually go away. I'm going to punch through them. I'll probably do it from underneath. Build in kind of a thing down 3 or 4 meters, whatever is a good number. I'll figure it out at the time. I'm going to put in a lava blade so that when the iron guys spawn in there and go down the little hole I'm going to make, they fall into lava. That more or less just cooks their heads. I don't want I want an air gap beneath them, signs holding the lava in place, to preserve the iron. It falls into hoppers, which I can't make yet, but one day hoppers deliver it somewhere and we figure it out from there. But that, yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of the 9 dry blocks in there are gonna have to go at some point, because otherwise the iron guys just kind of stack up and prevent new spawning, so that's pretty obvious. And glass, 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 glass. Let's get somewhat carefully down. Go over and lose that stuff and this stuff. Give me all but one of the beds. I'll hang on to one to make sure I still have a sleeping bag. And with the one bed in place over here, go ahead and put one up against the wall on this axis. One at 140 in here. I'm just centering them is all, so it's not too complicated an idea. Get over here with, and then again, I don't even know. If it is true that the first bed is the center, I don't know why that's true. For all I know, it has to... I might need villagers up here to acknowledge them first. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't even know if it's going to matter that there's already beds technically. There's like still some like yellow ones or something down there. But, you know, whatever. Those are all filling out the village as a size, you know, a shape. Let me just, I don't care. Is that all I had? Okay. And then just give myself a ladder to get out, which I'll probably eventually have to trash because I don't want the villagers using it, but sunset. That is that. Apart from putting in things for the villagers to play with and then getting villagers in here, which I'll just get them up the lift, that's the end of the concept. It's just, that's the village. It's built. Add beds and and things and we're done. So I am a bit over time, but not anything tragic. I've done worse with smaller projects. So I'll get out of here for now. Next time we can probably try to get the villagers actually up in here and throwing bread at each other and whatever, and you know, we'll move on from there. So see you next time. Bye.